In this QDS video, we will add an other specify response to a check each type item, and then a skip element, and finally test it out in preview mode. In the Design Studio, to do this, we're going to first go to our check each item, which is Rachel Group, and go ahead and open that up. And we'll see our check each text of question here. Next, we will go to the Response Set tab. Again, that is the last tab, and this is where we're going to add our additional response of other. We'll go ahead and highlight the Add row and open that up. And we'll add Other to be the text for our button. Now notice that the variable name suffix for this other response will be F. And we'll click OK and OK again. Next, you're going to want to add your skip element. This is so that the other specify item that we'll add next will be skipped over if the other choice is not selected. So first, you'll want to highlight the item below the check each one. Note that new elements are always inserted above the selected line. Next, select Skip Instruction from the Element Insert toolbar. When you do that, you'll see your skip element come up and you'll be in the If box. And this is where you're going to add your condition. Note that you're always going to use variable names and response codes for the condition. Here we're going to want to add a condition so that we'll skip over the other specify screen that we'll add next if the other choice was not selected. Before entering this condition, we want to review how check each items work. The main check each variable, or composite variable, which in this example is race, will be equal to the number of choices selected. So, if the respondent had checked Asian and other, then race will be equal to 2. The choice or the component variable names are the composite variable name plus the letter suffix. As you see here, they're race A through race F. And again, these are the variable labels for these as we enter them. And the values for these component variables will be 0 if the choice was not selected and 1 if the choice was selected. So you see here that our choice race B and race F that were selected are both 1, and the other unselected choices will be 0. So in order for us to refer to our other choice for race being other, we need to use this variable race F. And as a reminder, note that component variables, these race A through race F, will always be found at the end of your data set. So our condition will be race F is not equal to 1, which means if the race choice of other was not selected, then skip. Note that we use the not or caret symbol to represent not in QDS. Next, below that in the branch to box, this is where you'll tell QDS how many elements it will need to skip. The default is to skip 1, and so we're going to leave it at that, since for this example we're only going to want to skip the single other specified text data element. After you've checked that, go ahead and click OK. And now you're going to notice that the skip element showing is now listed here in orange in our element listing. Next, you'll need to add your other specified data element. So you'll go ahead and select that data choice on the toolbar, and then you can enter your text of question. Please specify other racial group. And we can also go ahead and use that for the label. And we can use race O to represent other for our variable name. And Then we want to go to the response type box, and here we will change that to text because they're going to be entering an other text type response. And then finally go over to that last tab, which is the Response Set tab. Here, the key options to check are the maximum number of characters to allow and display. You can go ahead and change that if you like. We're going to go ahead and change that to 30 for this example. And just like for other response types, you're going to want to go ahead and check your special codes to see if there are any that you do want to allow or disallow. Then go ahead and select OK. And now you're going to see that other specified data element in your listing. Now, to test if the skip is working correctly, we can use the preview feature. We'll go ahead and select the data and skip elements around there so that we can test that whole group. Now remember, to learn more about using the preview feature, you can see that tutorial video. So we'll go ahead, and after we've highlighted those items, we'll go to Tools and then Run Preview. The screen will open to the first element that we highlighted, which was our race question. First, we're going to go ahead and make a couple of selections, but not the other choice, and go ahead and choose Next Question. And there you'll notice that we skipped over the other specify option screen. And now we're going to go back using previous question, and this time we're going to go ahead and select that other response and once again go forward. And now you'll see we are at the other specify screen. And then if you go forward, we enter something and go forward, you'll notice we're on the next data element that we highlighted to look at in preview. And after we respond to that, that's the end of our preview session. Once you exit preview, then you would return to the design studio. That's all for this video. But to learn how to add additional types of questions, responses, or skips, see QDS Online Help or other Design Studio videos.